Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with more of our F1 22 My Team career mode. And quickly, a bit of an apology before we go into this one. Sadly, my PC decided to crash last week trying to record this video. I think I've worked out what the problem is. Hopefully I'm going to get some new PC parts in the very near future to try and sort it. So yeah, apologies that a lot of this video is going to have to be post-commentary and therefore quite edited down relative to sort of the normal videos that we do on the channel. But we return to SUZUKA this weekend, and of course one of the most difficult tracks on F1 22. First lap put the P10 there as a bit of a banker, and then second lap I dipped a wheel on the grass when we went into Spoon there. It didn't actually cost me any time, but of course we ran so wide through the corner that I was never going to continue on with the lap there. So we would have been about 4/10 up by the time we got to the flag there. But yeah, braking at the line, and that's going to leave us P10 on the grid, ready for the Japanese Grand Prix there. So really not the start to the weekend we would have needed, of course. Big championship battle going on still with George Russell as we head into this weekend. And unfortunately for us, George on pole position once again. They're finally now getting his starts and his qualifying under wraps once more there. Perez in P2, just 0.02 of a second away behind our teammate on the front row of the grid. Charles Leclerc in P3, just half a tenth away with Lando Norris. Gasly, Teo Porcher in 6th place there ahead of Bottas, Ricciardo, and then it was Yuki Tsunoda, the homeboy, ahead of myself in P10. But having a look then on the grid though, of course, game reckoned we wanted to do a medium to hard compound strategy today. That was absolutely never going to be the way we're going to go. Of course, pretty much every race now on F1 22 is a soft medium strat on, you know, just how far developed these My Team cars are. So let's get into it though. Japanese Grand Prix time, 27 laps ahead of us. We need to make progress here today. 5 red lights, and it's lights out and away we go then as we try and put the power down at the start there. Massive amounts of wheel spin as we head down towards turn 1. Ocon, Zhou, Piastri, Latifi and Dan Ticktum all going to get past me in towards that first corner there, but we are going to get back past the Sauber and the Mercedes through the first couple of turns there. So back up to P13, only 3 places lost off the start there as we wind our way up through the S's on this opening lap. But like I said, you know, unless something really bad happens to George Russell today, we desperately need to try and outscore him here, and starting 9 places below him around SUZUKA, we know just how difficult it can be to overtake around this Grand Prix circuit there as we wind our way through the Degners on this open lap. You can see closing back up towards the gearbox of the AlphaTauri there of Oscar Piastri. Might be able to have a look for a send in towards the hairpin, and that's exactly what we're going to do. They're up the inside of both Oscar, and Zhou Guanyu is going to try and muscle me over onto the inside curbing through the hairpin as well. They're of course Kamui Kobayashi's favourite overtaking place in the world of Formula 1, but we will move back through. We will therefore be back up into 11th place of the GPs. It seems to be Esteban Ocon, of course, our big rival throughout a lot of this championship, that has been making some mega progress there, 11th up to 8th place on the opening lap, so certainly has been able to work his way through quite a few cars there. Of course, we know just how quick that Alpine can be on its own weekend, so a fantastic job by the Frenchman. As you can see, coming towards the end of lap 1, this is the one place where we're really strong against the AI, to the outside of Yuki Tsunoda in towards the Casio triangle there, but unfortunately just dip a wheel on the grass, tried to rejoin the circuit there, and we know Yuki Tsunoda will never give an inch more than he has to there. Just a bit of contact made, but to be honest, looking back at it, probably was my fault there, as we're going to have to use a load of battery as we head back down towards turn 1 there. The straight line speed though was mega this weekend as we go back around the outside of Piastri and Zhou Guanyu in towards turn 1 there. So a little bit of time lost because of that incident, but nothing all too much to worry about in the long term in this Grand Prix. And like I said, you know, we've all seen at SUZUKA before on F1 22. It is really the run in towards the final chicane there. It's just on lap 2 this time around. We're going to try and avoid the grass on the outside there. Tsunoda once more going to try and cover me off, but this time around just a little squirt throttle between the corners inside the Casio triangle there, and we will be now back up into the points. Lap 5 now finally starting to make a bit of progress here. As you can see, Ricciardo lifts out in towards the Casio triangle once again there, and once more we're going to be on the outside. Tiny bit of wheel-to-wheel contact there between myself and the Australian, but we will get the power down off the corner, and then 2 laps later, next up is going to be Esteban Ocon then, as we think about moving to the inside in towards 130. I think better of it. We'll pull back to the outside though once again in towards the Casio triangle. It is going to be our favourite overtaking place of the afternoon, really one of the only places you can make moves around the SUZUKA circuit there. Is now up into P8 and already, you know, starting to feel a bit more confident with the car, starting to make a bit of progress in the Japanese Grand Prix here. As next up then will be our former teammate Teo Porcher, and again, just 2 laps later, we are going to be even closer to the Red Bull. This time around though, not going to be able to go for a move in towards that final chicane there. And we are actually going to bail into the pit lane at the end of this lap. So we're going to have to go a very, very long way on the medium compounded tyres to see us through to the checkered flag there. And actually Sergio Perez going over onto a set of hards there. So that's going to be rather interesting to see whether, the hard tyres aren't going to be much slower in the second half of this Grand Prix, or whether we're going to see some of the other AI, potentially a bit of a split strategy up and down the field there. No one really sure about how aggressive the one-stop you can try and make here, as luckily we will still be out ahead of Esteban Ocon there as we deactivate the pit lane speed limiter as we head back out then of the pits. We're going to be racing Robert Schwartzman on pit exit there, but unfortunately he will swoop through around the outside there. But luckily the Alfa Romeo should be pretty soon that we're able to get back past him there, as you can see, heading down in towards the next few corners here, actually down towards Spoon there, to the inside of Robert Schwartzman there. Actually gave him a bit of a bigger squeeze than I ever meant to there, so I do apologise to Robert in that moment, but we will make it back through there as more cars now into the pit lane, as we've got a mega DRS run on Pierre Gasly there, to the inside of Pierre. He's going to put me right down towards the pit wall as Felipe Drogovic, we're both going to fly past him in towards someone. They're Teo Porchera on cold tyres heading out of the pit lane, and that's going to be 3 overtakes made in about 1 corner there. So mega little run that we've got. And like I said, most of the time this year it has been that straight line speed that's been the biggest weakness of this car, but apparently I was running very, very low downforce levels around this Suzuka circuit there, as you can see later on that same lap, to the inside of Bottas before we even get in towards 130R there. Run slightly wide on the exit, but we will claim the place, and now up into 6th place then of the GP. And remember, now we're only at half distance in this Grand Prix, and looking on the minimap, George Russell getting held up a little bit behind Yuki Tsunoda, of course the homeboy leading his own Grand Prix, albeit only briefly there, as to the inside of Lando Norris will go. This time around we won't have a titanic battle with our fellow Brit like we have many times before this year. Just 1 lap after that we can see Charles Leclerc now trying to apply some pressure to Sergio Perez just in front of myself there. He's going to have a look to the inside as we head down in towards 130R. Where are we going to be able to go in this situation? You can see they both hold each other up 3 wide as we head out of 130R there, to the outside in towards the Casio Triangle. We're going to try and give them both some room there through the corner. Checo will somehow hang on to the position off the corner there. We're now going to try and get a run on Charles Leclerc as we head out of the final turn here, and you can see once again the DRS there, the straight line speed. We have just got so much top-end performance. We really just have not dealt with this all season long. And straight back up then, and now into the podium places of the Japanese Grand Prix. You can see George Russell about 9.5 seconds clear up the road at this stage of the day. And now we're going to try and make light work of Sergio Perez as well then. And of course on the hard compound tyres, he's really been holding up a few cars behind him there. Swoop round the outside of Checo, and now up into P2 then of the Japanese Grand Prix. It's now just me versus our teammate George Russell into the second half of the afternoon there. So we've still got a good 12 laps or so to really now try and start cutting this gap down to our teammate here. And honestly, at the moment, it was still looking very, very much possible there. You can see lap 19, the gap down to 5 seconds now to George Russell at the front of the field there. But we have got to be careful about the tyre wear towards the end of the Grand Prix. And we were still going a second a lap faster than our teammate George at this stage of the Grand Prix there. And we're now 5 laps to go, the gap down to just 2.5 seconds. Let's rejoin the live action. Well, I cannot believe with 5 laps to go here, and what has probably been one of the most exciting races of this series, I've simultaneously had both a game and a PC crash there. I don't know quite whether they were related or what, but we've still got to keep pushing on then to the checkered flag here at Suzuka. I do apologise so much for that happening, but we've just got to grit our teeth, get on with it. 5 more laps to go here from Japan. 2.8 seconds still to George Russell. If we can win this race, maybe we can redeem ourselves a little bit. I think our teammate now is starting to understand the weight of the situation. The gap under 2 seconds with 3 more to go. He is definitely now trying to up the pace to keep us at bay. I'm getting a bit worried. I can't help but feel George Russell might just have done enough here. The pace is starting to fall off. The tyres are starting to fade with 2 laps to go. We need a lifeline. Here at Suzuka, we have pushed all afternoon long. We have taken so much time out of our teammate, but we might just come up short. Into the final lap though, the gap still sat at 1.2, 1.3 seconds to our teammate. Final lap though of the Japanese Grand Prix. We have just got to give it absolutely everything here and pray that he gets one moment of oversteer, one little thing that can bring us closer to George Russell. Like I said, this could have championship defining repercussions here today, so we need to try and do anything within our power to get just that bit closer to our teammate here as we wind our way up through the S's, get on the battery as early as we possibly dare there. 1.5 seconds, he always gains time through Sector 1, but shut the car through the Degners. No, it's too wide. It's too wide, and into the gravel trap we'll go. We lose just a couple of tenths of a second to our teammate, but that might just about be enough for George Russell. He has had to defend and monitor this gap right the way through the second half of this afternoon, but down in towards the final few corners of the Japanese Grand Prix, we have absolutely given it everything on Grand Prix Sunday here. We struggled so much in qualifying yesterday on Saturday afternoon. We knew we had to dig deep today to try and make something happen here at Suzuka, but in towards the final few corners of this Grand Prix, rounding our way through we go. George Russell is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix once again there as we navigate our way through these final couple of turns. It's P2, and that is a hammer blow to our championship hopes as Russell will further extend the gap.
Thank you for all your hard work out there. That was a strong drive and a great finish. Well done.
That's a spectacular victory, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Welcome then to the podium, our top 3 drivers. What a great effort from them today in a very difficult race. So let's review the updated driver standings. That's a positive result for George Russell, who further solidifies his position at the top of the standings. Let's focus on the driver of the day, Anthony Davidson. Who do you pick?
I have to give it to Mr. Monaco. They did a great job at getting the most out of their tyres without losing pace, something that's a very handy skill to have in modern-day Formula One.
With that result, the sport's newest team can no longer be touched at the top of the table. What an incredible journey this has been for a team many had written off a short time ago. They are the Formula One World Champions. Well, that was certainly an exciting weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for more exciting Formula One action very soon.
Well, we were 7 tenths down on the pace on Saturday, but come Sunday, 9 tenths of a second clear of George Russell on our fastest lap there. We really did give it everything, but sadly, yep, George just able to control things at the front of the field there come the checkered flag. I cannot believe that. 6 points gained for him means the gap at the top of the table up to 39 points. 4 races to go of this campaign. George Russell, all he needs to do now is finish runner-up behind us in those last remaining 4. But one mechanical gremlin, one failure, one collision could really still change the course of this thing. We are not going to give up right until the bitter end there. Charles Leclerc still P3 ahead of Lando Norris, Perez, Pourchaire, Esteban Ocon there ahead of Bottas, Gasly and Ricciardo rounding out the top 10. No movement in the Drivers' Championship this weekend. Constructors-wise, though, 1 point now between Alpine and Red Bull. That's certainly still a battle to watch out for between now and the end of the campaign. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back very, very soon with more F1 22 content. None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.